guys, my name is Dr. Harman and I am one of the instructor at Dental101. So today I'm going to show you how to assess your provisional crown. So today I'm going to show you on the tooth number 2-3. So this is the provisional crown. So I'm going to show you how to assess your provisional crown. So the first step in the rubrics is to check your tooth restoration junction. So for that you just need to the crown over your preparation, and then with the help of probe just check the junction. If it is not detectable with the probe, then it is very good, but if it is at any point, if it is detectable, just detectable with the probe, then still it is satisfactory. But if there is a void, that is deficiency or void at the margin which is less than 0.5 mm, then it will go into the borderline. So on the buccal side it is not detectable with the probe, means it's in a very good part, but on the lingual side or on the palatal side I can see that there is a void. So I will check it and it is less than 0.5 mm, so it is under borderline on the palatal side. So means this overall crown in the first rubric, that is tooth restoration junction, it goes into the borderline. Then I'm going on to the next step, next rubric, which is overhangs. So just to check the overhangs, you need to pass your floss along and then pass it along the tooth structure, and if it is not obstructed at any point, then it means that there is no overhang. So same on the distal side, I will check the overhang. So I will just move my floss along the tooth restoration junction, and then if there is no resistance, means there is no overhang. And if there is any slight overhang that is just detectable by the floss, then it is satisfactory. And again, if there is excess material less than 0.5 mm, borderline, but if it is more than 0.5 mm, then it's a unsatisfactory. The next thing that I'm going to check is excess material. To check that, we will check in the around the gum area, like around the tooth, inside the gum area, like we should not leave any excess tooth material, that is loose tooth material, on the sides and even on the gums and anywhere. So if there is no loose material present, then it will be a very good. So in my restoration I didn't find any loose tooth material or anything. So for that you can use the probe and you can check around the tooth inside the gums, and but don't be careful, don't tear the gums. So just check. So if there is nothing, then it is very good. But if you find any superficial excess material which is remaining on the hard and the soft tissue, it is satisfactory. And if the small amount of excess material left on the hard or the soft tissue, then it is borderline. And if it is excessive material, then it's unsatisfactory. And then is the damage to the adjacent or the assessment tooth. So in this task, it's really like it's very rare that we can damage the excess the adjacent or the assessment tooth, but just be careful. If you are damaging, then it's not good. And then again, damage to gingiva. Again, in this task, it's very rare that we can damage the gums, but be very careful while just removing the excess material around the tooth. So while doing that, you can damage your gums, so just be careful while removing that. So the next point is to check the roughness. The restoration polish. So for that we need to check if there is any roughness on your crown, or if any excess material is left, then it will come under the borderline to unsatisfactory. Okay, so if there is generalized reference and moderate amount of uncured resin, it will come under borderline. But if there is excessive roughness, then it will come under unsatisfactory. And this crown is highly polished, and I can't see any roughness or any uncured resin over the crown, so it comes under very good condition rubrics. And the next step is restoration margin finish, so which is this one, the margin. So the overall margin should be smooth and there is no roughness or no steps on the margins. So in this crown, the margins on the buccal sides are fine, good. There is a smooth margins, there is no roughness or any excess material, but the margins on the palatal side are very thin and rough margins, so which comes under like unacceptably rough. We can't adjust these margins, so it comes under unsatisfactory. But the buccal side margins are good, so it's just showing you the difference, like of like what is the unacceptable margins and what are the acceptable margins. So buccal margins are fine, but the palatal margins are unsatisfactory. And then is material handling, so in which we will check for any porosity. If there is no porosity in your crown, then it comes under very good. So in this crown, I can't see any porosity on the buccal side as well as on the palatal side and on the incisal area as well. So overall there is no porosity, so it comes under very good. But if you feel any, or if there is any minor porosities that do not affect the aesthetics or durability, then it will come under satisfactory. But if that affect the durability or the aesthetics of the crown, then it comes under borderline to unsatisfactory. And the next step is material handling for curing. Means if there is any incremental line on your restoration or any evidence of restoration repair, means if you are adding any composite just to repair your crown, or anything that can be differentiate, then it will come under like if it is minor, that can be like repair or just minor evidence of repair that doesn't affect the durability or aesthetic, then it comes under satisfactory. But if that increment line or that repair with the composite can affect the aesthetic or the durability of the crown, then it will comes under unsatisfactory to borderline to unsatisfactory. Now the next point is restoration integrity. So for that, if your crown is intact, it comes under very good. But if it is fractured, if there is any fracture, then it comes under unsatisfactory. And then is the emergence profile. So emergence profile is the overall view, like when we see in the on the like, so you can see like it's the same. So the emergence profile is like the anatomy or overall contour of the restoration, so it looks like the same as the other tooth. So there is not, the contours are not too high, too big, or so overall emergence profile like matches with the other teeth. So it is, if the optimal emergence profile, then it's very good. But if there is any over or under contour on your restoration, means if this is over contour or it's like over from the incisal area or like that with the adjacent tooth, then it comes under borderline to unsatisfactory, depending on the like on the measurements. Means if it is less than 0.5 mm, then it comes under satisfactory. But if it is more than 0.5 mm over contour, then it comes under borderline to unsatisfactory. Next point is proximal contact contour. So in this we will check the contact in the contact area. We will check the width of the contact and the height of the contact. So in the molar as well. So we will check if it is, the contact is too wide or the height is too much. So for that, if the height of the or the width of the contact is too wide or the height is too much, then it will comes under unsatisfactory to borderline. So we have to check. So in these areas, in this tooth, if you can see, there is no overhang. So if the height is too much, then there is a chance of overhang as well. So in this, there's the height and the width of the tooth is fine, of the restoration is fine, right? And then the next step is morphologic tooth contours. So in which we will check the morphological appearance of the tooth contours. So if these are, so in this restoration, so the morphological morphology of this restoration resemble with the original tooth, like the actual tooth. So and so it's overall is good, but for the like the molars, we will check the occlusal anatomy as well. So if it resemble with the actual tooth, then it's very good, but if it's just generally resemble or poorly defined or absent, then it comes under satisfactory to borderline to unsatisfactory. And then is the occlusal contacts, using adjacent and contralateral teeth for reference. So for that we will check that if the occlusally if it is supra or not. For that we will check, we will take the reference from the adjacent tooth or the opposite tooth. Okay, and then we will see if your restoration is going high or going lower with the adjacent tooth, then it is supra or infra. So you can see this tooth restoration is not going too high or too low with the adjacent tooth, so means it is optimal occlusal contacts. And but if it is going less than 0.5 mm up or low, then it's satisfactory. But if it is going more than 0.5 mm and then it's borderline, and if it is going more than 1 mm or lower than 1 mm, it's unsatisfactory. So this is how we will do the assessment of our provisional crown. Okay, and I hope that this video will help you to assess your crown provisional crown restoration, and thank you.